In this short presentation, we hope to answer some of your questions about swine flu and how to cope in a pandemic situation. As Plymouth and the surrounding areas start to see more cases diagnosed in the community, you may be tempted to go to your local GP surgery. This should be avoided to prevent spreading the virus.
I think if you think you've got the flu, you should take the usual measures. Stay at home, because if you wander around, you'll just be spreading it to everybody else. Think about taking lots of fluid to make yourself feel better. Eat and drink what you like. If you feel really unwell, I'd suggest that you do contact your GP, but do that by telephone. And if you've got internet access, there are websites. NHS Direct has a website. And also there's the flu actual telephone advice line. Well, the sort of symptoms that you can expect are sort of headaches, sore throats, aches and pains. Symptoms that are all widespread. They won't be localised to just one part of your body. You'll feel generally unwell. You might have a bit of diarrhoea, you might have a bit of bellyache. These are the typical symptoms of any flu.
But what is a pandemic and what should we expect?
A pandemic is where you see lots of cases happening in a number of countries across the globe all at the same time, and it's a new disease, a new virus or a new strain of virus that we've not seen before, so nobody in the world has any immunity to it, and that's very important. And it also happens when we are starting to see person-to-person spread very quickly happening in local communities, and we agree globally that we are beyond the point of being able to control the spread of disease.
But there are some simple steps we can all be taking now to help prepare ourselves and our families.
It's really sensible to have in place some things in the cupboard at home that you'd normally have to deal with flu and coughs and colds during the winter. So think about getting some paracetamol or some ibuprofen if you haven't got any at home. These are really useful things to treat the symptoms because they help to reduce the fever and also to alleviate the muscle aches and pains that you'll get with flu. And we think that the flu during the pandemic will be a bit more severe and last a little bit longer than normal seasonal flu. So it's important to do that thinking in advance. It's a good idea to have discussions with your family and friends about who would go and get the antiviral tablets if somebody was ill, and how you'd manage all the practicalities of caring for someone who's sick at home and managing that with both childcare and work.
One of the best ways of protecting yourself is to get into the habit of better hygiene practice, both inside and outside the home.
This would mean sneezing or coughing into a tissue, putting it into a bin straight away, and washing their hands with soap and water as soon as possible. At home, keeping surfaces clean. If you're out and about and you need to sneeze or cough into a tissue, to put that tissue into a plastic bag and take it home and dispose of it when you're at home, but also to find somewhere to wash your hands as soon as possible to help prevent the spread of the virus.
The NHS is treating patients with swine flu with two main antiviral drugs, Tamiflu or Relenza. They can reduce the symptoms of flu and help avoid complications like pneumonia.
If the nurses on the flu helpline or the family doctor feel that they do need to have the antivirals, then they can access these through a local pharmacy, but this is where the flu friends come in. And it's important at this stage that people have identified either flu friends or members of the family who can go and pick up their antivirals. What we don't want is people wandering around the city spreading their viruses.
NHS Plymouth, along with other lead organisations both nationally and internationally, has been planning for the possibility of pandemic flu for some time.
The NHS is extremely well prepared for an outbreak of pandemic flu. We have had a number of years of preparation, we've rehearsed our plans and we've learned from those rehearsals. Services will be prioritised by a number of mechanisms. First of all, it's those in emergency need that will receive priority. Chronic disease conditions, patients who are vulnerable, patients who need a number of agencies to care for them will be prioritised. It will be some of the more routine work that will be given less priority, particularly if we look at some of the more elective surgery, the non-urgent surgery. These situations will be considered.
Hopefully this presentation has been able to answer most of your queries. However, if you need any more advice, then call the Swine Flu information line on 0800 1 513 513 or go to www.nhs.uk.